So we have Great Britain, Babylon, and Japan discovering North America. I'm really interested to see which are the next civs that are going to get involved in this colonization game. Or at least, I mean, I guess get involved in the exploration and the future colonization that will probably take place. Because colonization still is yet to occur, even though Great Britain has this settler. It's doing exactly what I predicted. It's going to just go straight over towards Asia, which is going to be kind of hilarious. But it's just... I don't know why. We've seen that exact same happen with... We've seen that exact same event unfold, I think, with also Great Britain, except it wasn't with this mod. It was with the English vanilla civ. So nonetheless, let's also not forget about... Let's see here. So there's the Babylonian settler, which, you know... Who knows? That Babylonian settler might be actually discovering... They're actually discovering more land and more of the features within the continent than anybody else, more than Japan. I mean, Japan's caravel is already making its way back home, walking fast. So I don't think that... I don't know if Japan really got that much exploration done. Doesn't really seem like it. Okay, so we've got the Umayyad versus Nigeria. They're going to be fine over here. Nigeria is in a somewhat safe spot for now. We've got Armenia and Morocco, Nigeria and Mali. Okay, so it's getting a little bit stickier for Nigeria, especially if someone else joins in. Ooh, Japan building the Forbidden Palace. That's pretty big. So Japan is out there exploring. He must have a lot of caravels out there. Or he might have been maybe one of the first civs to get up a caravel. That could also be a thing. Morocco and Nigeria as well. Okay. It's turn 171. And then the other thing that I was going to talk about was Shola and the settler making its way kind of through just north of Jakarta now. So I don't know. We don't know if that Indian civ is going for Australia or if they're going for maybe the island just north of Jakarta. Obviously, this is still a pretty good island. You got some bananas and some bison and lots of jungle tiles as well. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Morocco's getting involved. Morocco's gotten themselves involved into a lot of different wars. The Goths and Prussia have peaced out. All right. Well, that is, kind of normal. Remember, Prussia is now stuck on modern-day Norway. No one's really going to take them out until one of the British Isles civs decide to, whether that be Scotland or the British. I want to definitely... Okay, so here's another caravel, but we've known about that caravel. We've got a Norwegian scout moving through our Danish Green Mark territory. Japan and Morocco going at it. Indonesia has peaced out with somebody that was not a big threat to them in the first place. There is an interesting war brewing inside of the subcontinent of India right now. We've got the Maratha, and remember, everyone is at war with Maurya. Everybody's... Okay, well, now everyone's just going to war with Morocco. This is kind of crazy. I mean, I saw... We remember the... What did you capture? Some guy captured something. There it is. From the Vandals, I think. That doesn't look like a Vandal city, actually. It might have been close to the Vandals, but maybe it wasn't. This probably was a Benin city, I think. Or maybe it was Nigeria. I'm not sure. I'm not at all sure. Prussia's peacing out with everybody. Japan and Siam no longer at war, which might be a very interesting conflict in the future. Those two civs, those two Eastern Asian civs, really starting to build up some power in their respective locations, I guess, and maybe a future war between those two would be a lot more, I guess, interesting. Poland and the Goths. Oh, whoa. Okay, that's an interesting one. That was the Goths declaring war on Poland. That's kind of a big one. I almost totally missed that one. There's so many different conflicts that have been popping up, and specifically conflicts that aren't extremely interesting because they don't necessarily have an immediate front. This is different. A lot of different wars going on in Eastern Europe right now. The Goths certainly have enough troops here, I believe, to do enough damage. And of course, I'm going to stumble over this just like I've been stumbling over it all freaking series. I swear. Bruma. I don't know why I can't say that. But anyways, Siam is going after them. This could be a huge step for Siam. It's going to be still very difficult. I don't care how many units Siam has. This is still going to be really difficult, especially without a navy, to take them over. When they have a bigger navy, then maybe. And they do have their war elephants, or I guess they're not technically called war elephants, but they have them. Ooh, Ethiopia and Persia going to join in. That's sad because these guys aren't doing that bad. It's just the fact that they only have 2 cities. I mean, they are doing bad. That's the thing. I mean, they're not doing anything actually wrong. They're just not the strongest of civs, so everyone's going to try to eat them up. That's, oh, yes, that's very sad. Yes, this is where I think Chola's going. I think they might be going for that marble. This area right here, a canal city between the gold and the marble, I bet you is where they're going to go. I guess I could go here too, but obviously that's not the best of spots. Not really the best of locations. Any other caravels out here? We know that Siam is discovering Australia, but he's already discovered that for the most part. Japan going to have a very nice hold over Korea, kind of forcing Korea to stay within the sea. Is it the Sea of Korea or the Bay of Korea? Anyways, this kind of gulf here. So, I mean, they still have to kind of expand out a little bit more, but you know, they're going to be able to trap them. I'm surprised they haven't settled on this land here. The Shanu will be settling this land, settling on these 2 islands. And there goes the British. Imagine if the British just go completely around. They just stay in the North Pole, and they just go all the way back home. There's no way that would happen, but I would just laugh so hard. That would be like if they came all the way back and they just settled right there. That would be one hilarious, probably the funniest thing I've seen. Oh my gosh, look at all these Spanish ships up here, kind of just having a little party. Having a little party over there. Do we have any African caravels? So the British already discovered kind of modern day, the coast of modern day Brazil. Nobody out here else with deep sea sailing. Just casually passing by my submarine. I sometimes like to I intentionally not make a comment about that because there's people that watch the series that don't know how I do these things. So when they randomly see a submarine, they're like, "What is going on?" Like they freak out in the comment section, and it's pretty hilarious to watch that. So sometimes I make a comment about it, sometimes I don't, because it's just funny to see reactions. Okay, so Poland and Denmark have peaced out. Poland is going to be pretty focused on handling the Goths here. Now the Goths at only 2 cities, I believe. Poland also at only 2 cities. This could be a big make it or break it moment for either one of these 2 civs. Something else to keep in mind is that Poland has a pretty scary front with Austria. Vienna, not too far away from Berlin, the former Prussian city. So we could see something kind of occur out of that if Austria decides, oh, you know what, Poland's not doing so well anymore. I think I'm gonna want to gobble them up. That could be a possibility. Let's go and see what the Goths do. The Goths have a ton of units. I do think that Poland looks weak enough. I mean, I actually, Poland is okay. I was going to say Poland might have a technology advantage, but no. I mean, they both have advantages. The problem, I think, with the Goths is that they have no access to swords. I'm sorry, iron, which means that they have no swordsmen. Okay, they kind of did a little retreat right there, which is interesting. Maybe they are regrouping. We've got a Polish settler here. A couple of peace deals. Actually, a lot of peace deals for this turn. A lot of peace deals. Only one immediate interesting war that's taking place at the moment. Oh my gosh. So four of these ships just chilling here. World's most well-fed people. All right, so we've got some interesting kind of smaller civs towards the top. A lot in kind of western, kind of the western hemisphere of the old world, I guess you could say. Europe and western sub-Saharan Africa. Kind of interesting. I mean, there's obviously different examples of that not being the case entirely, but yeah, I noticed a pretty big majority there. Now, Portugal has a settler, but Portugal has no idea what's out there, and we've talked about this before. I mean, at this point, Portugal's only chance really is to escape to the New World, because I think ultimately Spain will be taking out Porto and taking that for themselves at some point. I mean, I guess there are pretty large frontal wars going on in West Africa still. I mean, the fact that, and I think I said this before in the last video, I mean, the fact that West Africa is still this divided is insane. Also, France is really aggressive with their settling. I'm not sure if that is going to hurt them in the long run. I mean, they've got 3 cities on continental Europe, but then they have, 4 inside of Africa, and then 2 on islands just north of Africa. Greece is doing the same thing. Oh, Sparta was settled around Ethiopian territory. Seems like the Europeans so far on immortal difficulty, or maybe because there are just so many people in that continent, are being very aggressive when it comes to the colonization of Africa. And we've seen this before in other AI-only battles, but this is a little bit new because France doesn't look that strong when you just look at on the surface of them. But man, they are sending out a lot of settlers. A lot of settlers indeed. Okay, so the Goths kind of went back at it. Remember, because Poland has the Great Wall, that's going to make this really difficult. That's going to make this, a lot more difficult for the Goths just to walk into Warsaw. Because Poland still has enough units here to defend themselves. I think the only thing that might come from this is an outside force getting involved, so Austria attacking Poland from the west, or maybe Russia attacking the Goths from the east. One of those two things could happen. Globe Theater, all right, and okay, that's about it. But then again, Russia has to worry about their own. We've been waiting. We've been anticipating that Hunnic-Russian war for a very long time now. So far, nothing's broken out, which I'm very surprised at. I know that by the end of the series, we will certainly be seeing some sort of war between those two. Carthage and Morocco. Okay, so that is more of an interesting one, since they do share in kind of an immediate border. The thing about Carthage is Carthage has no navy just yet. Although this could be huge. I mean, imagine a scenario where Carthage takes over both of these Moroccan cities. Morocco is actually a very excellent position. It's in a very excellent position in this map, if you think about it. Two coastal cities along the northern western African region. I mean, you can very quickly get to the coast of Brazil, modern-day Brazil, maybe even the Caribbean. There are a lot of opportunities for these African civs to colonize, the Ashanti being definitely another good possibility. Although I don't know if the Ashanti are really focused on colonization. They don't have many ships up. Babylon sending over another scout. Did you see that other scout? We've got the Congo going after Madagascar. And the Umayyad kind of sending a force. I'm not sure if they're sending I don't know, some sort of surprise attack on somebody? Perhaps? How are the Siamese doing? Yep, Siam's going to have a tough time. I mean, these valleys are going to really hurt them. Having to move through these valleys is not going to be easy. Okay, so they settled almost where I thought they were. The Chola have left the subcontinent of India, went after just north of Indonesian territory, so they grabbed the gold. And actually, this is not a bad spot. I think maybe this spot would have been a little bit better. Although they can reach another bison resource, I think this spot would have been a little bit better though. No. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Ultimately, about the same. A lot of territory over here, a lot of extra resources. So will we see Chola continue to do that now that they already have the taste of blood, the taste of Indonesian islands? They're gonna be like, ooh, I want more of this. This stuff tastes good. I think that's a weird example to say in that situation, but I mean, I think that could happen. I think that's somewhat of a thing because, and here it's the British settler, because they already know of the region. They've already have explored that region, and they're probably going to send out scouts from that new settlement. I can see them being kind of a big force in the colonization of the South Pacific. Just want to check if I see anything else out this way. Probably don't need resource icons on, but it is kind of nice to have resource icons on, especially for the colonization. But it will help me. Oh, the Chukchi. Okay, that's not a big surprise, but the Chukchi have a caravel over here. I probably missed them. You guys have probably been mentioning, Drew, the Chukchi are right in front of your face. They've been colonizing this entire time too. That's not as surprising, and actually the Chukchi are a pretty big threat. Man, the British are about to discover the entire west coast of both North and South America. That is pretty impressive. How is the war between the Goths and Austria? I'm sorry, the Goths and Poland. I mean, they're pillaging some land out this way. Obviously, a lot of lumber mills for them to pillage. Will Sweden take any sort of interest in the affairs of continental Europe, in the affairs of Austria or? I mean, you got to give Sweden a little bit of credit here. I don't think that Sweden was the direct result of the fall of the Prussian Empire, but I think they started it. They took over this city, and then from then on, I mean, you had Poland and Austria jumping after them. Okay, so Russia has peaced out. Yeah, is everybody still at war with Armenia? Because if they are, I'd feel terrible. I love that Armenia is still around. Like, that's very cool, but I feel really bad for them because all their land is just pillaged. They're, you know, oh my gosh. Now the Huns are coming after them with the battering ram, which will obviously the battering ram unit will have much more luck than anything that Russia is going to send at them at this moment in time, at this era. Turn 178. Portugal's pieced out with Morocco. And Carthage is, in fact, kind of approaching... Well, Carthage is at war with Spain, apparently, it looks like. I'm not entirely sure about that, but looks like they're at war with Spain. Carthage might be distracted here. Maybe they'll be going for Morocco. I'm not entirely sure. Carthage, they do have a few of their forest elephants, African forest elephants. And I know that Nigeria has been dealing with kind of a smaller coalition, but they've been doing okay. I mean, I don't see any sieges of any cities that have occurred just yet. Oh, did the Congo settle Madagascar? It looks like it. Yep. Yes, they did. Yeah, so the Congo are going to be a very interesting force. Very interesting force to deal with. Do we see any settlers off the Japanese mainland? Off of the Japanese island? No settlers from what I see. Nothing here being built or anything. I mean, it could be being built. We just don't see it yet. And yeah, the British are going to settle in Siberia, which is interesting. It's going to make the Chukchi very upset. But anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. Obviously, the colonization is going to continue to grow. And bam, yeah, we've got Babylon just going straight down the Midwest. Is this the Midwest of the U.S.? People are going to laugh at me because I'm probably wrong about that. But right around, like, you know, northern Texas, northwest of Texas, Colorado, kind of the Colorado region. Anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.